Hello and welcome back to Adobe Live. I am your host, Jacob Phillips, here with David Clark, videographer, producer extraordinaire. He currently works for Kettle, a adventure clothing company, as a producer videographer there, and he is amazing. David, how are we?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good, good. I am just getting the chat on, so just let me know where everyone is tuning in from. Today, we have a jam-packed day. All sorts of things Firefly and Premiere Beta. So, David, I'll let you take it away. I'll switch our screen over. You got this cute little board.
Yeah, I
Go.
put together this Firefly board to kind of just help explain a little bit about me, and then we'll also go through a little bit about our stream as well. But yeah, my name's David. I'm a video producer. I'm an editor, director of photography, writer, kind of a little bit of everything. I think when you spend a little bit of time in this industry, you kind of end up getting dragged in a bunch of different directions, and that's kind of what my career has been like. So I've been super lucky. Basically, my career started as a photographer. I think for a lot of us, that's kind of the path. You start as a photographer. You want to tell better stories. You kind of branch off into video, and so. When I was in college, I got a great opportunity to go work for a production studio that was based out of Malibu. And when I saw the listing, I was like, oh, they've made a bunch of movies that I've seen on Netflix and all these other places. And so, yeah, when they picked me up, I ended up working on a bunch of different documentaries. Some of them you can see right here. Some of them I wrote on. Some of them I was an associate producer. Some of them I was an assistant editor. I edited on pretty much every single one.
You have some pretty cool IMDb credits, if I'm not mistaken, right?
There's a lot of David Clarks out there, so I mean, it could be.
So it could be anybody.
Could be anybody, really. I'm sure, like, I probably have 4 different IMDb pages.
You're selling yourself short, but yeah, no, that's really cool. I'm pretty sure some of these went on to like get Emmys and stuff back in the day, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just super fortunate to work with some really just impressive people over the years and some really great clients. We've got, did some projects for Ferrari back in the day. We had Special Olympics that I, shot and edited for ESPN, X Games, a bunch of documentary sports companies.
So
and then after that, yeah.
anyone in the chat, David is an industry Los Angeles pro. So if you have any questions during this 1 hour show, let us know in the chat. If you're, looking to get into the field of video production, happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was staff for a long time, and then after that, I went freelance. And when I was freelance, I mainly worked as a camera operator. And then for them, I did a bunch of random jobs. I was like shot rugby and sports, and I did a bunch of stuff for like the U.S. military. And then I spent a lot of time at the Kelly Slater Surf Ranch also.
That is the epitome of freelance, right?
Dude.
It's like take what you can get, and there's 10 other people competing, and you're just doing it, right? And there's always the coolest stories that come from freelance, I feel like, right?
Yeah, dude, 100%. I mean, it's like, I think the goal is, especially like when you're beginning freelance, is just say yes to everything and like be someone that can say yes to everything. Which we'll talk more about because it's like, it's kind of the whole point of this stream is like, if you're someone that's required to do a little bit of everything at a professional level, you really need the skills to do it. So it's really cool to see kind of like Premiere and a lot of Adobe tools are giving a lot of people like me and like us, like editors that are expected to kind of be like jack of all trades, but master of none kind of people, the ability to do a lot of different things at a pro level. So yeah, and then now I'm on staff with a fantastic plethora, or I say a company, it's a group of companies, it's 3 separate ones. It's Kettle Mountain Apparel, which is a really fast-growing outdoor menswear company, which is super exciting. And then also Worldwide Cyclery, which is if you're in the mountain biking world, it's very likely you've heard of Worldwide Cyclery. They have a super popular YouTube channel. And then also Trail One Components, which we make some mountain biking parts as well. They're really great. And so, yeah, the projects that we'll be looking at today are from both Kettle and Worldwide Cyclery. So they're kind enough to basically say, yeah, go and show them off. So That's
Oh,
where
no
we're gonna
way.
go.
So you were on the ground filming a lot of these, I guess, adventure products. Like, I'm curious what exactly that is.
Yeah. So with Kettle, it's an outdoor menswear company. So the whole point is to like make products that are super versatile, that can be worn in all kinds of different conditions. You can travel in them, you can hike in them, you can go do, multi-day adventure races in them. Which means that we spend a lot of time in the field. All the footage that you're going to be seeing is footage that either I've shot or people on the team have shot. And so yeah, man. I mean, it's a full-blown hands-on job. I mean, just on Saturday, I think, we did a monster hike for um one of our treasure hunts, which has been super popular. If you go to the Kettle website, you can kind of get a hint on exactly what those are, but we're doing another one in the Los Angeles area coming soon. But
And you were like filming the whole entire
filming a
process.
lot of it, dude. And
It,
so, yeah, I spent
what
a lot of time covered in poison oak and bushwhacking scratches and everything else.
what an exciting like job to have, just be in the wilderness. I'm jealous. That's so fun. Um, Dino Rex in the chat says freelance is a lot like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. That's right, Dino.
100%.
Every day
100%.
is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You never know when you're going to get it either. That's the other thing. Some days you get 5 boxes of chocolates. You can only eat one. And then most of the time you're waiting for that box to come
yeah,
through.
yeah, and then
So,
randomly in 1 week, someone just gives you way too much chocolate, and you
yeah.
have to pass off things.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of got to be a
As is
glutton for
freelance.
punishment.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well this is cool. I'm glad that you threw some photos too in the Firefly board. It gives me some good context. Should we open up Premiere?
Yeah. Let's open up Premiere real quick. I just want
Oh,
to talk a little bit about basically like what I want us to be able to get out of Premiere. So basically, it's like, like I said, I've done a lot of different, I've done sports documentaries, I've done commercial work, I've done weddings, real estate. If you can think of it, I've probably edited at some point. And so this whole workflow is basically designed to be as compatible and capable as possible across so many different genres of video editing. And so basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing a lot on like Premiere's beta, or you'll see it in Premiere beta, but Premiere's new release on color modes. And so basically how we can incorporate color modes into our workflow. And again, I am a pro editor, but I'm not a pro colorist. I didn't go to film school. I learned a lot of this stuff on the fly, on the job, but I've been doing it professionally for a decade. And luckily in my entire career, it's like every studio I've worked in has always been Adobe Creative Cloud. So it's just been super fortunate. So
well,
basically,
that's kind of like the coolest part about this new release is it's definitely meant for someone that's not a pro colorist. I mean, I'm sure pro colorists love it too, but I mean, it's just like, yeah, democratizing color grading, right? And I've always really enjoyed color grading. I don't know about you. Is that like in your process, is that like the bane of your existence? Or are you like, oh my gosh, I have to color this? Because I get so excited.
oh, dude. It's like, yeah, coloring for me is like the carrot that I dangle at the end of all of my projects, knowing that it's like, okay, if I just get through all of this, I know I get to color at the end of all of this. It's 100% the most exciting part of my process, no doubt.
Right on. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and open up a project here. And
Okay. And this is in Premiere Beta.
correct. Yeah, this is Premiere Beta, which I've been working in for the last month, month and a half, getting familiar with the new
I, I,
color
I,
modes feature.
I wanted to talk to you about that right before we started the stream. You mentioned that you've been using color mode for the last month since its release. So what are your thoughts? Like how has it been, so far?
Yeah, I think for a lot of editors that edit that try to do everything that you can in Premiere, I think at times, and I think from a lot of people I've spoken to, is that it's easy to feel limited by Lumetri color. And like, obviously it is very capable and you can get you know, 90% of the way that you want to get there. But like just like those little bits of like, can I elevate this edit just a little bit more. I think a lot of us felt limited by that. And so with the new color modes, it really gives you the on one hand, it's super approachable. So if you've never worked in professional, dedicated coloring software before, a lot of those softwares can be really scary because it's like, do I really want to take my entire project and now run it through this program I don't fully understand? Color modes makes it super easy, super approachable while also giving you like a ton of control. And it also kind of is like a little bit like the way, and you'll see a little bit as we talk about a little bit more about like the heads up displays and kind of the visuals that it gives you. It's kind of like designed to push you into learning like, okay, if you never understood what scopes were, well, now you can get an actual visual on what it is. And as you change your scopes and as you make edits to your, the actual, luminosity, the color, the intensity of the pixels on screen, you understand what you're doing to the image. So it's like
Right.
both like
Yeah.
approachable, it's learning focused. So I
Let,
really like it.
that is like that warms my heart that like not only are we showing it today, but like you've been using it in your workflows already. I mean, it's only been out for a couple weeks. So yeah, let's check it out. I'm curious, to see more how it works.
Yeah. So this is an edit right here that this is one for one of our products. This is the Rocky Loft jacket. Um, and all of basically the way that I line up my sequences here is here on video channel one, we've got this A-roll talking head clip. And up on this next level right here, video channel number two, the one that's highlighting. These are all of our B-roll clips.
This
And
stuff is ripe for a color grade. I can't stand this log footage. And for those who aren't video nerds like us, log footage is just this gray look that you see before anything has a LUT or any sort of color grade on it. And it looks so boring. Like, I don't know about you, but I always, at least when I'm trying to piece together a video, I'm always trying to at least throw a basic LUT on to my footage before I edit, because it's just so bland without it.
no doubt. I mean, it's really tough to work through an entire edit editing this way, which is why I do the same. I almost always put a LUT on these. I only removed it just so I can kind of show you guys what an ungraded sequence will look like. But normally it wouldn't look like this. I'd at least throw a LUT on so I can at least just visually enjoy it. But here's, obviously we've got our edit screen right here. A lot of us are going to be familiar with it. This is how I set mine up. I like my timeline to be, my working space to be as large as possible. I like to keep, my program monitor centered. I have all these setups here. And then over here, this is a new color tab. So if you're still working in the regular Premiere, as in not the beta Premiere, you're not going to see this tab. So this is the new tab that is color mode. When we click on it, you're going to see we get an entirely new visual. Now, I think for a lot of people, this is going to look quite a bit different than what we're familiar with. We've got this new panel over here. We've got our controls down here. We've got a huge program monitor, and we no
And
longer
I
see project.
I love that. If there's not one thing that I would always be custom adjusting, is just to be able to see more full screen my clips. I mean, not only my clips are bigger now, but also the program monitor. I think just visually, you want to be able to see the next clip that you're grading just a little bit larger, which is really fun.
Oh yeah, I mean that was one of the more frustrating things. It was like as you were coloring, it was kind of like, if you colored, in Lumetri and you were going kind of from this panel right here, you'd kind of like be like, okay, I'm coloring this clip. Now I'm coloring this one. Now I'm coloring this one. And it's
You're
kind of
like,
like,
remember
what's
what this
coming next?
Yeah,
You have no
remember
idea.
what this last one was? I got to memorize the look I just built.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, say you've got like something from that shoot like 5 clips ago, and you're trying to work quickly, and you're like, okay, which one is it? And you're trying to guess in your timeline. You don't have to do that anymore. It all pops up over here. And so I'm gonna pop back over here just so we can kind of get an idea of like what it is that we're gonna be talking about. But just like as an overview on our color modes, the first thing I want to talk about is kind of this clip grid. That's this area right here. So this is our grid of our clips. And basically, it's exactly what we were just describing. This is just an in sequence. These are all the thumbnails of all of our clips in sequential order in the sequence. And what's really cool about this window is you can actually sort this guy. So obviously, this is kind of the way that it cuts in order. So as I go down this, you'll see it's kind of the exact same way that it is in the sequence. But one of the really awesome things you can do here is that you can organize this by time code. which means that you can edit these clips in the order that they were shot. These are obviously all graphics and stuff. But
And maybe just for our non-video nerds, what is time code?
time code is just it's basically the time that was imposed on the footage from when you shot it. So it's like, say I shot this clip right here at 2:30 on, Monday, that all of these clips are all going to appear sooner than these ones that were shot at 4:30 on that same Monday. And so
Right.
it's just basically just like native what time these clips were
Especially
shot at.
if you're shooting a multi-camera interview or something like that, time code is really, really useful to sync up multiple cameras without playing around with it.
100%. It's funny, like at the lower levels of film production, and I think for most studios, it's like you'll never think about time code. As you get into the more professional world, it's like time code is everything. It's like the
Literally.
slates that you see on sets to like the way that audio is synced, everything is like super reliant on incredibly accurate time code.
That
We
is
don't have to
so
worry about that so much.
That is, yeah, exactly, right? Like when you're not in the Hollywood leagues, its time code is less important than just getting the footage, especially because Premiere has great audio syncing tools.
Yeah.
But it is quite hilarious how you'll show up to a job that, has, some serious money behind it, and you'll tell them that you're shooting on a DSLR, and they go, "It doesn't have time code? Are you
Oh
serious?"
yeah.
They're like, "Get out of here." Like,
Yeah, you just see the panic ensue in like audio engineers' faces, man. It's like, yeah, it's funny. But it is cool because it's like even like Premiere's found a way for like even us kind of like lower level editors or lower level like, you know,
you're not
so
lower
fun.
level, Dave. Don't worry. You're
I know.
you're
I
you're a
just mean
pro.
like in not Hollywood.
Yes,
Um,
but here's the thing. Cameras are so good now. Like, do we really need Hollywood? We're coming after them with all these tools.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like you'll see like with every technological improvement, and even like this is a prime example of it, right? It's like everything is more approachable for, people that are just kind of learning now. It really, really is awesome. And so the way time code is used in this sequence or in this clip grid is basically that like these are all the clips as the way that they were shot in order. And this is all these clips are all being used in this sequence, which means it's like there's a certain type of lighting and framing and exposure that I had in this little 10-minute span that I was shooting this little batch of clips, which means I can just edit these four clips in this order and I don't have to go bounce around my sequence if they're all in different
Yeah.
places.
Can I see the edit tab again just for those same clips? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
exactly. So
Yeah.
here's this tab, and you can see that these clips are kind of all scattered about. It's like we've got these two back to back, but then this is from a different zone. This is from a different time. This was shot in a studio. This is from like a totally different scene whatsoever. And so they're kind of all over. So it's like if I'm coloring this guy,
So
obviously I know this.
so your big tip, it seems like, is syncing in order of time code. You're keeping everything at the similar time of day that an environment that each location shot, so you can quickly grade, say, all five angles on that mountain hiking trail in
Yeah.
order.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of the big thing and the focus of this project in particular is that this is a product marketing video. Like where you would see this video pop up is, this is for a Rocky Loft jacket. This is something that would show up on our product display page, meaning that it's like, say you want to go look at a pair of socks or like a shirt. It's the page that you land on the website where it's for sale. And this is when you click on the video, it explains this is what the product's for and blah, blah, blah. These are becoming super, super, super common. And a lot of the times these get cut into ads, and these ads perform really well. And so what the goal is when you're editing clips like this, is you really want the color of these clips, the color of the product, skin tones, you want it to be as close to real life as possible. And so consistency is super, super important. So the fact that we can kind of edit the color of these clips in order of this one scene, because the lighting is going to be totally different, different time of day, different settings, is like a great way to stay super consistent with your color.
Yeah, this is a whole different way of thinking of color grading. Like,
Yeah.
I can't tell you if I've ever just color graded out of order of my sequence before, you know?
I know. I've wanted to, but it's like it's awesome that it gives you the option. Obviously, we don't have to. You can still just choose to do it, in order of your sequence. But it
Right.
is
But you're
cool.
going to be able to speed grade a lot faster if you're just quickly coloring the same environments one by one. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. And so that's our clip grid. And then we can also change the size of that. You can see we've got a little slider right here. We're on a slightly smaller screen, so we don't really get to use this slider as much to kind of change the size of these clips. But those are the controls that we have there. And then the other really interesting thing that we have here is our grouping. And so we've got these two zones right here. We've got a clip and a sequence option. This is basically telling you where you're grading it. So it's like we've got this little adjust control. This is what we're editing currently. And we can change all these parameters here to like, change the exposure, the temperature, the balance, saturation of this clip in particular. But say I wanted to do this entire sequence. What I can do is I can make these changes. I can drag this adjust over to the entire sequence. And now it affects everything. I think before what a lot of editors were doing, what I would do is that you would probably go in here, you'd make an adjustment layer, you'd lay an adjustment layer across the whole top, and then you'd add a LUT or something to the adjustment layer. But then like if it's not quite right for one clip, then you go into one clip and change the exposure here. So, it was this kind of really convoluted way to try to figure out how to color all your clips, but keep them consistent. Now it's like, it gives you these different options for like how you can group, edit, but also still make, a clip adjustment on this one clip.
Corey Watson in the chat says, we were talking about scopes like 10 minutes ago. He says, yeah, scopes always confuse me and I went to film school.
Yeah.
It's okay. I've been a videographer for 10 years. I still barely know scopes. And that is okay. That is totally okay. I know enough to get by.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that it's like whenever somebody has scopes open on their screen and they're another editor,
and let's just like, show scopes real quick. Like just
yeah, here. Let me see if I can find a scopes window. Let's see. Do we have it here?
See if chat knows.
Oh, do I even know how to find it? That's how infrequently I use them. I don't think I can find it.
I thought it showed up on like the exposure when you drag the exposure on color mode.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we can talk more about that. You can see right here, we get these awesome when you click. The way that you control these is that when you click on it, you see your cursor is going to disappear, and instead you get this kind of heads-up display. And this on here has these scopes. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute on exactly how we can use these controls. But these are going to be these things that I'm sure you guys have looked at in the past and been like, what am I looking at? It's like as you control these now, you're going to actually understand what you're doing to the pixels that are in your image. Just really, really neat. But yeah, I mean, originally I'd look at these things and I'd be like, what is it that I'm looking at? When an editor would have them open, I'm like, do you even really know what you're looking at?
Yeah. I can have those up and I'm sure my fiance will be like, wow, he just knows. Like he went to film school. He understands things. So now with color mode, it automatically pops up every time you're making an adjustment to make you look like you know what you're doing.
Exactly. It's pretty sweet. One of the real last thing that I'll touch on and kind of the way that we can group clips here, I'll just remove these two, is that this is a perfect example. I've got these 4 clips in a row right here that are all from the same scene. And the clips before it and the clips after it are all from different scenes. So what you can do is you can grab this clip, hold shift, click, and now we've grouped these clips right here. Now we can just make an edit just to these selections. So it's like I can basically edit all 4 of these clips at once and make changes to just those 4 clips all at one time just by grouping them. And so as I click around in here, I can make an individual edit to this clip. And then when I click on here, you can see it's a part of this group.
Cool.
So pretty cool way to do that. You can also rename them. We can call this like, first batch. All kinds of neat things. So pretty cool way to group clips there. Let's talk a little bit more about like the operations, what exactly the controls are in these clips. So just looking at this clip right here, let me fit this guy back. We touched on this a second ago, but these are basically the core controls that we're going to have, like the core operations that we can make changes to in this image. We've got color and contrast, and you can see all these different visuals. We're just taking a peek at this. This is our contrast control. We've got exposure. We've got temperature. And the way that these work is that they work on, I was going to say all 4 axes, but now I'm doubting my math here. But yeah, 4 axes. We consider these 4 axes.
Didn't go to enough math classes in college either.
Yeah, no. But basically, the way that these controls are going to work is that you're going to click it. You can see that when I click this, that my cursor disappears. And as you drag it up, down, left, right, you're going to be able to use these controls. Now, this is a super quick way to kind of navigate these. As you click through them, you can just make changes on the fly and you can see exactly what it's doing to your image. So it's like, say I want to put the Mexico filter on this guy. Boom, Mexico filter.
Give it a Narcos
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, Narcos vibe right here. And so these are our basic controls right here, just color and contrast. This is probably going to be akin to like in Lumetri in the basic corrections little drop down. These are what these controls are, plus a little bit of extra stuff, balance. Over here we've got color shift. Now this is a really interesting one. So we can change the
Oh,
saturation.
Corey in the chat wanted to let you know that it's 2-axis, 4 quadrants.
There we go. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that. I knew I was wrong.
Corey's winning awards today.
Yeah, Corey, our resident math expert.
Thank you so much. We definitely got C's in college.
Yeah, yeah. Over in this color shift tab, it's really interesting. We can, this is probably akin to in Lumetri when you'd see like your graphs and you can edit by graph. This is basically what these are. It gives you a little bit of an easier visual to kind of understand these guys here. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But what's really interesting down here is our zone controls. So these are log clips, so they're super flat, but I'm just going to grab one of these guys, which is like, this is an already colored clip. I'm just going to grab this guy so you can see. What it does is it automatically grabs swatches of all the specific colors in your clip. So it's like, say I just, of the
Whoa.
primary colors. So say I just want to edit the blues here in this clip. I can click on the blues.
But
And
you'd
every
probably
time,
want to really focus on the kettle brand, right? Like you could focus on the reds, right?
yeah,
Make those
exactly.
pop.
Yeah. So it's like, I can do that. Say I'm like, okay, their
Wow.
skin's a little bit too yellow right here. I can focus on this yellow and I can change kind of the hues in this yellow. So really, really cool way to kind of do this. Or say I'm like, okay, I don't have exactly that kettle logo, so I want to go ahead and grab another one. You can go ahead and grab it right here. It makes you a new little swatch. So really cool way. Detail is one that I personally don't use as often, but what's really cool is when you click on them, you get these fantastic little heads-up displays here. But these are going to be your texture and your sharpness controls. And these work the exact same way. You drag your cursor up, it increases your texture. You drag it down, it decreases your texture. And you get like a really cool visual here that actually shows every single pixel, which ones are the sharpest in your image.
Wow. I really like that it identifies the colors in the image so you can just tweak them really fast. I feel like that's something that I'll do in Lightroom all the time editing photos, just, adjusting hues and things like that. But I never found it too accessible in Premiere.
Oh yeah. No, that's basically kind of a lot of what they've done. And there's also kind of some other Lightroom type features that we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. But it really is like so much easier to just grab one color and focus on one color than it used to be. So much so that it's like, when you're on a shoot and you have to feel like you're compromising. So it's like, I really want their skin to look good, but exposure's kind of messing with this one little zone, or if your lighting's messing with things. Now it's so much easier to just grab one color, adjust one color. It's way easier than it used to be. Um, it's just kind of the perfect segue into clip styles over here. So this is our adjust window. These are going to be our core controls. We've also got clip styles. Now, when you click on this guy, you're going to get this little pop-up box right here, this little dialog box. And basically, we're going to have presets and modules. I want to start with modules because it makes it easier to understand presets once we know what modules are. But when you click on these guys, basically, you'll see that we get kind of different little controls that we can edit with. Now, color and contrast, when we drop this guy in, it's going to be a lot of pretty similar to what we see in the adjust box. I'm just going to add an adjustment layer right here, just so you guys can kind of see how similar these guys look. Here's adjust. Here's our color and contrast controls. These are going to be really similar, but what we can do is we can add and stack on more operational controls here. And a lot of these are going to give you a lot more control. So color shift, again, is going to look a lot like that swatches window I was talking about. But we can also get a contrast kit in here. And this has your, go away.
Corey in the chat was asking about if the vector. He said the vector thing to preserve skin tones is still a thing. I think the hue though is really nice because if you can quickly change the hues like we were showing of people's skin tones, I think a lot faster. I always find a lot of clients have like pinker skin tones, myself included. Uh,
Hmm.
and being able to just find like the pink in the image and tone it down really fast is something I immediately know that I'll be using with color modes. Um, I hope that answers your question because I'm not entirely sure what the vector thing is.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. I do remember, in the graph editor that you can grab specific hues. It's really similar.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I just it's the skin tones thing for me. Like, I mean, as a naturally pink skin tone, I feel for every client of mine that is pink, and I'm like always like, oh, we gotta fix it, we gotta fix it, we gotta bring it down. It's too
yeah.
pink, and that natural LUTs just always seem to have a way to do it. But back to styles.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, what you're talking about is face tuning, man. You can give yourself the perfect tan.
That's right. I always want to make myself look good, and hopefully, I can make my clients look good as well while I'm at it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and so over here in our contrast kit, this is going to be a lot more similar if you guys like working in curves. I love working in curves. It's the kind of the easiest way for me to control contrast. We've got these new controls right here as well. We've got range, we've got compression, some other new controls. I think as we all get familiar with working with these tools, you can kind of see exactly how these guys kind of change the way that you view editing your contrast. And they all are just they all a lot of these controls are like they're so tight in terms of like what they control, but there's going to be quite a bit of overlap, but they do just slightly different things. And so I think as we all get familiar working with these tools, it's going to be really exciting to kind of see like exactly the level of control that you can get. Um, so but these are our modules. These are here our modules, and we can continue to add more. We've got detail versions, we've got film color, flares, all kinds of really cool um, controls that we didn't have before. And so I want to talk a little bit about presets. So Premiere is going to go ahead and give us a bunch of different, I guess you would call these, they're not quite LUTs, but what they are preset modules. So if I click on this guy right here, it's like, say we go into the lighting drop down. We're going to go warmer. Actually, let's try a different one. Let's go cinematic. You can see it's going to give us a whole bunch of, oh, this is the beauty of working in a beta program. A lot of stuff going on under the hood. So
Yes, guys, that's the one thing. This is in Premiere Beta, and there's always things we run into. But look how fast we bounce back from that.
we bounce back super quick. And so as we go over here into our, let's see if we can pop this guy up. There we go.
Yeah,
So you can see it gives us a bunch of preset modules that are down here. And these already have little adjustments made to them. And so this is like we were talking about earlier, like Lightroom, how, you'd have your presets that are over here on the left side of the window in Lightroom. And it's like you can go and apply them and it gives you all of your sliders on the right are kind of already in like preset places. And then you can go and adjust them. It's not like quite a LUT. It's like it gives you a starting point where then you can make changes from there. That's exactly what this guy's going to do.
which is
And
really
so,
what all LUTs should be as well. Is they're just really great starting points. You'll see people that like, oh, I want to make my own LUTs. I want to color grade from scratch. But just putting a basic Rec 709 and then going from there, Rec 709 just being the very basic, nothing too stylized, nothing too filmy, just a basic look, and then editing from there is always the best thing. So whether that's a style or a LUT, I always recommend just slapping something basic onto your clip.
exactly. It's honestly, this is a perfect segue to kind of our third control that we have here, which is a clip LUT. I'm going to go ahead and move over to one of these clips because it'll be easier to show on one of these guys right here. Let's go with this one. I'm going to remove this adjust layer right here. And let's add a clip LUT. Now, exactly like what you were talking about, what's really awesome is that we get this LUT display. Now, for a lot of people that have worked with LUTs in the past, LUT stands for lookup table. It's basically, it tells the pixels like, okay, if you look like this color, if you're close enough to this color, we're gonna amplify this color. And it basically just gives you a starting point. Exactly what we were talking about before. It gives you a starting point. But with a lot of LUTs, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and drop this one, or actually, let's go and drop this guy on. This is a pretty intense change from what it was. And the beauty is now is like, say you're like, okay, I love the fact that now we have like a great starting point to edit from. You can now go in here, and if I click on this, you get an intensity control. So you can dial this down, kind of almost like change the opacity of this LUT. So that way you can kind of dial it back, or you can increase the intensity. It's not strong enough. You can increase it. It's a super easy way. More.
More LUT.
Yeah, it's a super easy way. Like obviously you don't get the individual controls like you do in your, style presets, but it's a really cool way to kind of be like, okay, I almost always use LUTs. Personally for me, I love Rec 709 LUTs. I don't love the fact that it kind of, if I could, I would have been dialing back the intensity of them so that way I can kind of have a little bit more creative control. But the fact that now we kind of have this intensity control is awesome.
Especially if you want to stack things on top of each other, like bringing down, say, a Rec 709 LUT to then add in more of a film sort of look to things, is like, because I often find myself adding like 2 LUTs to a clip if I'm really trying to get that like wedding, airy, filmy look to things. And I'm a warm tone guy. Like I look at this and I'm shivering. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to warm this guy up.
Well, he's wearing a jacket. That's the whole point. Look how cold he is. But if you're wearing your jacket, he's so comfortable.
I actually, you know what? Maybe you do need to keep it just for the marketing, because this shot is ice cold.
Yeah, exactly. But what's cool is that obviously we can change the intensity. We can dial this back. We can increase it, but we can kind of stack multiple operations on one clip here. I can go ahead and add an adjustment. I can increase the temperature here. Look at that. It's not so cold anymore.
Not so cold.
Not so cold. Take a breath, Jake.
Thank you. I also think it needs some more saturation.
I agree. And we can go in here and make that change as well. Now, obviously you can see this is kind of flicking a little bit. This is, again, it's a beta program. So there's a little bit of things that they're working out as well. There's some things going on behind the scenes. I've been working with this program for a month. It's been working fantastic.
Nice.
But that's something that you'll see improve over time. But again, really cool way you can stack multiple operations at once. Now I want to show you guys real quick on how we can kind of use these different controls here in a real workflow. So when I come back from, I don't know how most people do it, but the more I've talked to editors, I think a lot of people use a dailies workflow. Now, when I come back from a shoot, a lot of times what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer my footage. I'm gonna put it all in one folder. And then what I do is I'll open a project just so I can play this back. Obviously, if you're shooting in RAW, if you're not shooting in a format where your computer can read it, you're gonna have to open an editing software anyway to look back at your clips and make sure, good, they made it, nothing's corrupted, it's all good. So it's a naturally easy way to make a dailies reel. Now, for those who don't know, a dailies reel is just gonna be a reel in sequential order of all the clips that you shot in one day. Now you can see right here, this one's named Dailies, Colorado Rocky Loft Jacket Footage.
Because oftentimes, if you're working closely with producers, things, even just clients, they want to see, well, how did this all turn out? I want to see it. And you can have some, especially if you're on a multi-day trip with a client, they can get kind of nosy, like, hey, what did you shoot? And I think with color mode, like, you don't want to show them ungraded footage, right? So
exactly. And I think the way that this used to work was that it was a little bit convoluted. There's like a lot of steps it took to do this. Now, obviously I would go and I'd lay out all my dailies. You'll see what I do on video 1. Here's all of the basic clips, all the ones that I put on video layer 2. These are all of our select moments.
Can we talk about how, like, this just makes me want to go touch grass? Like, I'm like, man, I need to go outside. This looks beautiful.
Yeah,
and it's really, not even really colored. It's all gray, but I'm visualizing color right now, and I know that it's beautiful.
Well, just you hang on, buddy. Here's the way this is the way that how a lot of people used to do it. How I used to do it. You'd go and you grab an adjustment layer, you drag it across the top. And by the way, you'd be doing this all while a producer's standing over your shoulder, like, I want to see the footage, and they're watching you kind of fumble.
Why does it look so bad?
Why does it look so bad? And they're standing over your shoulder, you're trying to frantically do all these things, and then it's like, say you add a bunch more clips, you change the length of it. Now anything that's beyond the end of this tail is now gonna look crap. It was too many steps, right? Yeah. We don't have to do that anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and open my dailies. I'm gonna open the color tab. Under sequence right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a sequence LUT. I'm gonna go to my favorite little handy dandy LUT right here.
the
Now, like
go-to.
all these clips
Wow.
all now have that color on them. And it's the same if you pop back over to
No
the edit
way.
screen.
Can we play some of these back? And
Yeah,
yeah, okay. This is such a good example. I can't tell you how many times clients just want to see the footage. And it's like, oh, go back to the stuff in the mountains. That stuff was epic. Oh, yeah. Look how warm that is. Play that back.
yeah, there we go.
Boom. Well,
Boom.
that took you 5 seconds to play. I want to see some more of this stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
That took you literally 5 seconds. And the thing is, it's attached to all these clips now. So that way, when we go back to do fine grade tuning, you're not like double work. You're not doing the work twice. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm noticing is like it's pretty nice that like this is already your start. This is your Rec 709 LUT, and you can just make adjustments on the final piece. But you're going to spend several days just now looking at this Rec 709 footage.
Exactly. And it's like as you're going through this thing and like the way that the way that I edit is a lot of times I'll lay out my A roll and then I kind of listen through it and I'm like, okay, he's talking about, feature of it's great in an urban environment. So I've got this urban environment clip. The way that I would do it normally is I'd go and I'd skim through my dailies. I'd be like, okay, here's our little urban environment. I'd kind of zoom in. I'd say like, okay, this is the moment I'd want, clip in, clip out. I'd take this and then I'd copy and paste it over into this sequence here. And here's kind of the beauty of this and why I just think this is such a clever tool is basically we have this LUT applied to this sequence here, and we can see that it's all here once we've come from the color window. If I copy and I paste this into here, it's no longer here. And the reason why it's like this is because it's no longer applying to this sequence. That LUT was only applied here. So now when it's in this sequence, I'm not stuck with whatever LUT this was. And then it's like, say I don't like this, I have to go back and change it and blah, blah. I can go in here and I can make all my custom adjustments in here. So pretty neat way.
Really cool.
Really cool. Now, what if I'm like, okay, I love this LUT and I want it to follow this clip any place that I post it? There's a way to do that too. Super easy. I'm gonna go in here.
I think that's more my style, to be honest. I just want it to follow. I don't want to do work twice.
Exactly. So don't fret. I'm gonna open this little window right here, color management. I'm gonna put it right here between these guys. Now, a lot of this stuff, if you are if you're not a pro colorist, which again, I'm not a pro colorist, a lot of this stuff can look really scary. You've got color spaces, you've got override media color space, you've got all this stuff. You're like, I don't know what this is.
This tab is why people get intimidated of Premiere, but not to fret. It actually is very simple because you only need to stare at like one thing on this menu.
Exactly. Like this whole thing is basically, it's like get familiar with one area that you need, and that's all you need to do. What I've done is I've given myself a lot of familiarity with this right under this right here, our source clip. Now, obviously we can apply a LUT in this screen. We saw that a second ago. That applies just to this clip in this sequence. But if we go over here, we can input a LUT. This applies to all clip instances in this project. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go find that same LUT. I'm gonna add it. Here we go. I like this LUT. It's probably a little cold for you, Jake.
It is. That's freezing. I mean, I hope it was cold there at the time because I would have my white balance way warmer.
Yeah, you'd be jacking that thing up.
Yeah.
Now when I copy and paste this guy into this sequence right here, it's got that LUT on it. So
and it follows.
And then when we go over here into the color window, we can make all of our little adjustments to it as well. So if you like this LUT, you want to keep that LUT in all clip instances, that's a way that you can do it right there. Super easy, super quick. That's a little change that I made. I added this color management window to here just in case I can go ahead and do that. Now, one other thing about working with log or raw footage is that obviously you get this log look. Now, obviously, for a lot of people, and myself included, I've always used LUTs, just a log conversion LUT, just to get these colors in a place where I don't have to build it from scratch every single time, because I am a relatively lazy editor. And so what you can do is obviously you can apply that LUT here and then make adjustments on top, or apply this LUT here, make adjustments on top. Or one of the things you can do is like, say you're like, okay, what if we were to just get this thing to a baseline? And then I can edit it from there. Just like a mellow baseline. you can change the color space here to whatever log you were shooting in. And Premiere has them all memorized right here. If you shoot in Sony and you like shooting in S-Log3, they've got it right here. This was shot in C-Log2. I can apply it, and you can see it's kind of like a LUT right here. And it just basically instructs the program that, hey, this is what it was shot in. Just convert it yourself. So that way you don't have to go and look online and, like say you're a beginner working with LUTs. It's really difficult to find them a lot of the times, or at least ones that you like. Don't fret. Premiere's got a couple of them built in right here. You can tell it basically. This is what what I shot it in. Just convert it to Rec 709 for me. It'll do it right here.
Dino Rex in the chat was asking about masks. So like if you wanted to take, say, this guy and just warm, a section of it up, could we adjust like either the intensity, the warmth in just that part?
Just the region is what you're referring to?
Yeah, exactly. Like if just the guy. I think the other example was good where he was like really cold in town.
So, and this is something I don't want to say too much about, but I have heard inklings that there is going to be a masking feature that will appear here. But currently, there is not a masking feature. Obviously, one of the Premiere's new releases is that we can do our effect controls here.
That's what I was thinking would be cool, is these new smart masks are
and
really
I do
fun.
believe it's coming.
Yeah.
It's just at this current time, I don't believe it's here. If it is,
I'm just curious what just making different regions. Yeah, it's really
like a
easy
local
to
adjustment,
It's really easy to select a mask now in Premiere.
Yeah.
And just color it from there. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there would be a way to do it. One way that I could think of doing it would be you could duplicate these clips. You can assign a mask to one area. You can color them both, duplicate them, assign a mask out a certain region here.
Yeah.
And then obviously layer it on top and then color just the clip on top, right?
Yeah.
That would be one way to do it.
Anyway, I derailed your train of thought. What you were in the color space.
No, that's all right. So yeah, now what if you're someone that's like, okay, listen, like Dave, this is all great and stuff, but I don't want to have to pop over to a color window every single time I want to make a little change. What if I'm just in the edit and I realize, or I get a note that says like, hey, like this zipper is too dark. I just want to see like a little, like, can we push the shadows a little bit? Well, right here in our little properties window, which again, kind of a new addition to Premiere. If you guys haven't toyed around with the properties window, what just a fantastic addition. For things like graphics, you can make little text changes. It just simplifies this whole view.
Few people are talking about the properties panel.
Dude, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I agree. It's been around for maybe like a year now, and it's incredible.
Yeah, the more I work with it, the more I'm like really impressed. It's like things where it's like if you're working with Mogerts, if you guys use like a little like the essential graphics tab or just the preset graphics tab that Premiere has in here.
I haven't had any yogurt today. I actually was gonna get some after the stream. I'm not kidding you. It's my breakfast.
Yeah, Mogert. It's a motion graphic template. It's a type of file. You can download them online. And also Premiere has a bunch of stock ones that come with it for free for your use. You can make all the little changes here in the properties tab. It's super useful, and I think it's better than the effect controls tab than it used to be. But say, you're like, hey, I want to be able to see this, zipper more. I want to push the shadows. Well, in here, you've got basically your adjust controls, those core controls. You've got them right here. You can change your color temperature. You can change your saturation. So if you're kind of more familiar with that Lumetri style look, which Lumetri is not going away, by the way. It is going to stay. But we've got this little panel right here built into every single clip. It's naturally going to be in every single properties clip or every single clip property.
I like the sound of that.
So really, really easy to just make these controls. And say you're making changes here and you're like, you know what? I just need to pop over that window. Well, guess what? Pops right over that clip. So, depending on your speed, how necessary you want your changes to be, or like how in-depth you want your changes to be, you've got every option. It's like you can go like crazy over here Or I mean, you can like kind of have like, your basics right here and adjustments. You can go crazy and start adding a bunch of modules, or obviously add a lot, or you can go in here, just make little changes right here in this window. So, and that's kind of the overview
Wow.
on color mode.
Let's go. Thank you, Dave. That was so cool. We got about 5 minutes left. We can sort of recap what we were talking about. And yeah, thank you for showing us this. I mean, I'm very impressed by all these new features. This is in Premiere Beta. If you have missed it, go ahead and download it. Try out these new features. But yeah, just give us a little recap on how to quickly grade our footage.
Yeah, no. So once you guys are, if you guys are like me and you're dangling that carrot in front of you, you're color your videos last. Our basic overview is going to basically be that like we now have way more control over the pixels in our image, and so much more so than Lumetri. And it's really exciting. I think we're all just going to have the opportunity to really learn a lot more, and that's kind of the beauty of this new color tab, which you can see over here in the corner. Um, is that we're really going to understand what we're doing to our image. And this is so approachable for pros, like pro colorists, or if you're like me and you're someone that's new, or not new, but not like a trained colorist in color science. It's so quick and easy to learn a lot of these tools and immediately apply it to your workflow. I mean, that's what I've done. I've already edited, probably delivered 10 videos in the last month, all using this new color mode feature. And I mean, it truly is like an app-sized release in Premiere that I think a lot of us are going to have a lot of fun kind of learning what we can do. And the beauty is that if this is too much for you, or if you feel like you don't want to take this on, we've got it right here in our properties tab.
Yeah,
All the controls, the sliders that we're so familiar with from Lumetri.
that's right. And you can still add LUTs in other ways. Nowadays, there's so many different ways, especially in that other color space you mentioned as well. Yeah, that little scary tab, the color management tab. It's not that scary. And that's the one thing about Premiere. And I always talk to people. I go, you just got to try it. Watch a couple live streams, and trust me, it's really not as intimidating. It just seems like it. But this application is very intuitive once you get the hang of it. And I mean, I guess easy for us to say we've been using it for, I don't know, how long have you been in Premiere?
Man, I've been editing in Pro Studios for a decade this year, and but I mean, I was working with it for a couple of years before that. So I mean, 13 years probably.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the old man seeing her grow up. I'm like, wow, like, there's just been so many great glow ups over the years, and that it makes me really happy. You shot all of this footage on Canon, right?
Yeah, Canon C70.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, super useful camera, great
I'm
little.
surprised no one in the chat wanted to know what we shot this on. I feel like that's like the number one question of any video stream. It's like, what was this shot on?
Wow, that shot looks great. What camera was it shot on?
But you have to remember that it's never the camera. It's always the tools that you have. I've done a couple streams where I actually use my iPhone to record. You can shoot in a flat color space and grade it in color mode if you'd like. Absolutely incredible. I've been actually filming a lot of real estate projects. I film all the vertical versions on my phone now, and I throw it in color mode, and you can color grade with Apple Log. I think David's actually pulling it up. Yeah,
I was gonna see if there is an Apple
at the
Log
top.
in here.
Yeah.
Look right there at the top.
Yeah.
So if you shoot in Log on your iPhone, you just want to give it a whirl just to see what kind of control you would get with color, but you're like, but I don't know. What if it doesn't look very good? Don't worry. Right here, you can override your media color space.
Yeah.
Just add Apple Log, dude. It converts it
Yeah.
right over. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So it's really never what you're shooting on. It is incredible that our iPhones can shoot in a flat color space that we can even use in this new color tab. So the possibilities are endless. David, any final words? Thank you again for showing us this new workflow that you have in color mode, and someone that's been using it now for 3 weeks to a month. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, anything to add? It'd just basically be that anything for us, kind of do it all video producers. It's like you get asked to do a lot of different types of things. Anything you can do to make yourself more capable, even just dipping your toe in I want to be a little bit better at color. I want to be a little bit better at this. Just try it. It genuinely, like a lot of these things are so approachable. As time goes on, there's gonna be so much media about these popping up online. If you follow Adobe Live, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more, pro colorists or people coming on. Here's some tips and tricks you can do. Don't be afraid to give it a shot. It really has, leveled up my color.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So download Premiere Beta, check out color mode, and we'll catch you next time. Oh, up next, File New with Ryan Selvey. Don't miss it. He is the man. So thank you, David.
You got it.
Bye, guys.